Hello and welcome to
Okay,
NPCs.
stop, Ollie. We need to have an intervention.
Pikachu!
I hate you.
Pika. Yeah, hello, hi, wow, hey, whoa, welcome to NPCs at Tal'Dorei, going back and reviewing episode 4 of Critical Role.
Due to the one-shot that's this week. Normally, when we do these, we normally have someone else from one of our games here. Unfortunately, that didn't happen this week.
So it's just us here, but I'm sure you don't mind too much, I hope. We're cool, right? My mum says I'm cool.
This is the moment they turn off the
episode. Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, so this is episode 4.
What a wonderful story.
Yeah, so episode 4, Ashley's here for the first time.
Wearing ears, like little ears things. I have some ears, hang on. You keep talking, Dave, I'm going to find my ears.
So yeah, episode 4, we continue on the adventure to actually find Kima. So this is another reference to Kima that is with the campaign, the entire story. And they kind of go... yeah, so... Couldn't find them. So essentially we are continuing this the quest of trying to find Kima of Vord, the wonderful dwarf, who has seemingly gone to Craghammer, or certainly was last spotted. Going into the hive mind is where the party decides to follow into the underground. So they meet Illithid? Is it Illithid? Illithid.
Yeah.
Called Clarota. Like Clarota?
Like
Clarota?
Kind of. Like
my
Clarota. Like my Clarota.
They go to the Goblin Village, an abandoned Goblin Village, so they can actually have a bit of a talk and kind of assessment after last episode.
Yep. Now this is a classical D&D kind of thing. A dungeon full of creatures, mind flayers, Illithid, Duergar.
Dark dwarves.
Yeah, this is essentially very, very typical classic D&D, probably, original first ed, 1974
dungeon
and beyond.
crawl.
Yeah, classic dungeon crawl.
So they talk to Kuroda, but before they kind of really get into the meat of what he's got to say, they see a sparkling thing in the distance, and it turns out to be...
Well, Vex and Scanlan go to investigate as, in fact, Pike. Hey, Ashley.
You're right. I like how they tie that in. It's not just Pike was there the whole time.
Yeah.
Appears.
Well, when I first started my games, whenever a player couldn't make it, I had the character kidnapped, but that proved too difficult after a while. Essentially...
That's true, I got kidnapped.
Yeah.
I got kidnapped, tortured, and just a smartass.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
You got slapped a lot.
That's your torture technique.
Yeah, I just slap people.
Slaps.
Yeah, I don't want to be too cruel, you know. So essentially, I noticed that Vex is not there.
They mentioned Laura's going to turn up because she was actually doing filming with Wheaton at the time, which is Titan's Grave, another series that's on Geek and Sundry of a series they did for the Tabletop Season 4, I think, fundraiser. They said if they meet a certain amount, they're going to do a Titan's Grave, which is something that Wheaton developed. So she was off doing that.
But Pike and such return to the rest of the party with Scanlan and Vax. Pike, someone says to Pike, "Can you read this?" She's like, "No." And then she's like, wait. Maybe I can. Rolls nat 20. Actually, yes, I can. I can read that. And they find a symbol that Kima had actually left herself to indicate that she's been in this place.
Yes. So they find signs of Kima, which they know they're on the right track for.
Yep.
But then Clarota basically monologues, and it probably gives them a lot of information about what's going on. So it just turns out that
Illithid, yeah.
And the Dark Dwarves were basically enslaved by Kulara. I'm terrible at names.
Let me do the names.
Yeah.
Clarota informs them that the Illithid and Duergar are in fact working for... Shit, I had it and then I lost it. Kavan.
Yeah, the spelling is there.
Kavan. Oh, okay, I put an extra A in it. But yeah, so essentially... and we get a classic Matt Mercer voice as well for Clarota. That kind of... I can't do it, but that kind of like haunting, horrible sound that Matt does so well.
And he's got like some kind of helmet that kind of blocks out the control, which is why he's able to not be enslaved. Yep,
but he has been exiled from his clan, essentially, and wants to return to the hive mind.
So what they do is they realise they have to get to they have to attack the camp. The Dark Dwarf camp. Yeah. So they kind of do a classic Vox Machina plan, but nothing ever goes to plan kind of thing. So they spend a good amount of time planning with their next move, and they think about going through the river, like electrocuting the river, but it turns out that was a bad idea because there's something in the river that they probably shouldn't mess with.
possibly a Kraken. Probably not. That's a little
I don't think it's
challenge
a Kraken.
23.
They actually do mention it. It's actually on the wiki, the Critical Role wiki, of what it actually is, but I didn't write it down. So.
Also, this is really fun because we've got Tiberius. He's still with the party at this point, which is wonderful. I love Tiberius. I love his voice especially. Tiberius Stormwind.
Well, he's the one that's cosmetically like very, very different in the crew. I mean, obviously you got Grog. He's a big grey thing, but he's the one who's actually like.
Red scale Dragonborn.
Yeah, exactly.
The also other funny thing that I noticed was the tech issues that they used to have back in the original couple of episodes. The microphones that get bumped and then it makes all the sounds and stuff.
Yeah, and
the sound just dropping. And...
We experience that in our games too.
Yeah. Tech issues are a huge problem when you're trying to do it online. But anyway, the party. They deliberate in classic Vox Machina style. Grog puts a pot on his head because he thinks that maybe that will stop the Mind Flayer getting in.
It's very useful.
It works. It just lends itself to a lot of cool comedy as Grog is like wandering around with a pot on his head. We also had Percy does some cool shit, and
as he does, that's so general. But yeah,
I didn't finish that note. It just says Percy and then ...
But they end up basically the plan is Vax and Scanlan will go ahead. They'll go invisible, sneak ahead.
Yeah.
And then they will try and kill the
Illithid.
There we go.
Now Scanlan doesn't actually use invisibility all that much in the later half of the campaign. Like not as much as he used to in the first couple of things. And obviously Vax is ridiculously stealthy, so the one that can turn invisible and the stealth decide to go ahead. Yeah.
And I did notice, like, during this as well, you have Travis slowly finding his Grog voice.
Yeah.
But he's kind of 50-50 on it. He's not fully committing to the voice yet.
Yeah.
Because he goes to his normal voice and then goes to the Grog. And then sometimes he does a half one.
Yeah.
So
and also,
he's finding his voice.
Yeah, Vax also has a bit more of that kind of highborn style voice going, that kind of high status stuff, which later turns more into sunken despair, but I suppose that's through his experiences.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting hearing the characters, what they are now, than what they used to be, and them essentially finding their voice, finding their character. So as they found more about their character, discovered more about themselves, their voice kind of reflects that.
Also, Percy with a regular haircut, not a mohawk. I was like, wow, I completely forgot that he even ever had that. But yeah, it's cool, and they're all baby-faced and cute, and it's just it's wonderful. It's like if you go back and watch NPCs of Tal'Dorei 1, we have this...
It's a bad resolution.
Horrible resolution, like square resolution. I used to be so fat back then. My face was a bit...
It was literally 6 months ago.
Wow.
We were so fat back then. I think we're fatter now.
His beard was like shaven and stuff. It was like really
I'm definitely gaining a lot of weight.
That's where it's going. It's going from me to you. Anyway, essentially, they've gone to the barracks because that's where they realise that Kima has gone.
Well, they do have a rest first.
Short rest.
Because there's a very important thing that happens during this rest. So they have a short rest. They do have some weird dreams because
they're next to a Mind Flayer.
Well, yeah, I'm going to get you to say Illithid.
Oh, Illithid.
Yeah, because the Illithid is there.
You got it right anyway when you did it. You got it right.
It's 50-50, especially if I get it right. But they also feel a bit of rumbling.
Yes.
And they're not sure what it is yet.
But they freak out a little bit.
But it's kind of like, it happens, there's things that move about, but that comes into play a little bit later.
They also talk about blinding, Scanlan using a blind spell to stop the visual contact, which, as you know, spells a lot of the time have a visual component. If you can see the person, they can charm you, that kind of stuff.
So they're going to throw a poo at them.
Yeah, well, classic, of course. Shits, fuck it.
Basically, so they decide to sneakily fly over to the barracks. So I believe
I've just got fly my pretties written down.
Fly my pretty. So fly is cast on Grog.
Yep.
Tiberius rides Grog.
Yep.
Keyless turns into an eagle.
Giant eagle. Yeah.
And grabs the gnomes. And everyone else goes on the carpet.
Yep. The carpet is a huge part, an integral part of early Vox Machina. They used it a lot until it eventually got destroyed.
It's definitely a kind of an easy kind of like go-to one if they travel over things. So
I can show you the
It's like the bag of holding as well.
Yeah.
They get it pretty early on. It's just, it's
very
always there.
It's like the Whispering Stones. You guys got those and you use them quite often.
It's very useful.
Scanlan also suggests that they free some of the dwarves that have been imprisoned just as an extra distraction, but they decide that's probably more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah.
Eventually they stealth into the barracks. Now, at this point...
Just Vax and Scanlan.
Yes, they go ahead and the rest of the party kind of hang back waiting for a
second. Well, they land on the roof.
And then
the two
lie
go
down. Yeah. The rest of them lie down so they can't be seen, and Scan and Vax go in. That is when they find the Illithid, and Vax does some awesome sneak attack.
Yeah, and they throw the poo to blind him, but then the Illithid kind of sees them just Did I say that right?
No, you did. It's just such a funny tactic.
Shut up. So they throw it, they have that distraction, and Vax goes in for the stabby stab for the sneak attack.
Yeah.
And you can tell that Liam is still unsure about how the character works.
Yeah.
Because he did ask for a lot of raw checkers. So the first one did get it automatically critical because it was assassination. Didn't kill him though.
No. First attack is a critical attack. Now, it's actually quite funny watching them go, holy crap, you did 30 points of damage in a single attack when, we're up to the point now, episode 115, that we just watched the other week.
The final.
The final, where they were doing like 70 to 80 to over 100 in a single round.
It's quite funny how things have escalated.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, that's when everyone's alerted. The general that's in there with the Illithid.
Illithid?
Yeah. He's alerted too, and there's a lot of dark dwarves are alerted. So at that time, Clarota alerts the other parties, other members of Vox Machina, and Grog makes a hole in the roof.
Yeah.
And they all drop through.
Roll for initiative. At this point, I've got written in my notes, Kiki makes a noise like a narwhal, because she gets so excited by the fact that they're rolling initiative that she makes this like squeal that just sounds like a narwhal.
Oh really?
It was great. Then, obviously combat ensues, and Vax gets nat 20 on his initiative, so he's first up. Does some...
And then kills him.
Kills the
Illithid.
He goes to the Illithid and just mind flayers. Brutally, I've written, just murders it.
And the general's not very happy with that.
So
So with combat, this is a bit weird because we didn't have a battle map. We had a battle map when they were sneaking in.
Yeah.
But when the battle was actually taking place, it was very kind of...
It was the same room, they used it a bit.
Well, they didn't have the map when the big combat was happening, and then they switched it later on. So it was kind of like a 50-50. They didn't switch the battle came on straight away, but it was like... They eventually did. So.
So we got some cool stuff. Tiberius, with a little heart next to his name. I miss you, Tiberius. You were so great. You were such a great character. He cast pillars, which is really cool.
Well, he actually called it obelisk, because I looked on his Twitter, because at the time he actually posted, in 2015 this was, he posted on Twitter, he actually came up with a spell called Obelisk of Stone, which is before it was actually in the 5th edition book. 2 years before it was in the book, which is called Bones of the Earth.
Well,
it's just called something different. So a lot of there was a homemade spell in that.
Cool. I did not know that, but that's good info. And essentially that slams them to the roof, because the max extension is smaller than the roof. Boom. Now they make their saves, which means they don't get pinned, but they still take full damage, and they take a lot of damage.
They were basically wiped. I think we killed 3 of them in one go.
In a single spell. That's when we got the rumbling again, and they do a bit of stealth as well. But bursting out of the ground is a ballet. A huge armoured four-legged creature that climbs up.
But before that, it's something to note that General at this point has been banished.
Oh yeah, how did I not have that? Scanlan casts banishment. He actually goes up for a hug, and as he touches him, boom, banishment.
Yeah, and that's just a cool kind of Scanlan moment there. And then that stops really the Dark Dwarves in their place.
The Duergar.
Yes, I call them Dark Dwarves because that's basically what they are, and I can't really say the word as you probably are aware from this video. I can barely say Illithid.
You got it.
I know. I'm on the street. I don't want to ruin it.
No, just never say it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So the bullet, a bullet.
Yep.
See again.
Ballet.
A ballet.
Yeah.
So it's basically like a don't know. It's
giant armadillo.
I guess so. It's a very armored kind of beast. I'll put a little image, it will pop up.
And Kiki turns into a rhino, which doesn't happen very often. She usually, her go-tos are bear form, giant eagle, and later on in the campaign, elementals and that kind of stuff. But we get to see her as a rhino.
Yeah, and when it first bursts through the ground, it actually bites Percy, and his hand's actually currently in the beast. But
then he goes, wait a minute. If I don't fight that and leave my hand there with gun in hand and I fire that gun, do I get advantage or does it just automatically hit the fact that my gun is in the guy's mouth? And he goes, well, yeah, you'll take a bit of damage from... And he's like, that's fine, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Then he unloads a ton. He unloads Dead Shot, 2 grit points. He takes another feat, which is like another spell, which gives him -5 to hit, but +1. +10 to damage done. And he essentially shoots this thing and does it.
Does a massive amount of damage.
For this level,
smart idea.
9. Yeah.
It's a very smart idea for him to just like that.
Yep.
And Percy did have also a good moment of showing the thinking of Percy, of the fact of like, if I did this, is that possible?
Yeah.
And talking to Matt, and Matt's like, that will take months. But he's thinking, and No Mercy Percy was thinking.
And remember, these guys are only level 9 at this point. So they really can't rely too much on their arsenal of spells, as they do later in the campaign, that they know very well, and more on their own resourcefulness, and trying to outwit the opponents as well.
Exactly, outthink and outplay.
Outlast.
What's that, Survivor?
Survivor, man.
Yeah, Survivor. But yeah, basically more chaos happens, more battling happens.
Scanlan takes 41 points of piercing damage and falls unconscious.
He was like negative 37 or something like that.
Yeah, which was nearly insta-death.
Yeah, that's pretty. But luckily, his faithful
Paramore,
Pike was revived, or gave him some healing.
Cure wounds,
so he got back up again. But the general comes back and also knocks Percy out. So Percy's unconscious now.
Yeah.
Because obviously Percy's hand was just in a.
Yep. No death saves are made as they basically the next thing that happens is Grog deals a whole shiv ton of damage and gets the. How do you want to do this?
There we go. And he beautifully destroys him and kills him. And
he goes a bit dark in the fact that he bites the guy's tongue out, grabs his jaws, and just King Kongs him apart. But hey,
this is why you should support the comic book, because I would love to see that.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
And that is it. That is where they end the episode.
Now, that they had the episode a little bit shorter and they didn't have a break during it because they did a Q&A afterwards.
Yeah.
So if you do want to know what questions they asked in that, but you don't really want to watch the whole thing, you can actually go to the Wikipedia for Critical Role.
Yep.
It's obviously done by fans, and they actually have a transcript of all the questions that were asked.
Yep. So if you want to know more about the cast or there's anything there, go check that out.
And especially Orion, because he doesn't do many Q&As before he departs. But yeah, you should definitely check that out. And ultimately, it was really awesome throwback. Looking at all these characters and how far they come, just like even the game itself, and looking at, because I mean, when you were looking through it, you were getting inspired what we could do for our own one. Yeah,
I suddenly, as soon as I saw this, was brought back to what started me in D&D, the original kind of dungeon crawls that I'd done, and that real classic style of play. Now, the games that I run at the moment, I'm more basing it on the last kind of 10 episodes of Critical Role, that very high level,
epicness.
The epicness, but I want to get back to the roots of D&D, and this episode really inspired me.
I think that's one of the risks as well when you look at Critical Role, it's like, I want my game to be like that. You forget that they've done so much other crap before. Not crap, I wouldn't say crap. Things beforehand that has led to that payoff, that epicness. And it's all about kind of grabbing that basic set. And this is a good reminder of that.
Yeah, and also just some classic mat lines, some classic dungeon creation. If you want to see our games, check it out. It's on this channel, definitely Multiverse, and the next couple of episodes are going to be some classic dungeon crawls for them, I think.
And at this time, they were doing like every 50 subs they do a giveaway.
50 subs,
and I think it was only at 1,500 subs they had. They were at
that was the mark they were trying to hit. So
that was the target they're trying to hit. But nowadays, they're around about like 36,000 subs. And just keep in mind, a sub is someone that's paying $5 per month for whatever channel they're on.
Yeah.
So you just think how far that's come in 2 years.
Yeah.
And now they went from 1,500 people paying $5 to now 36,000 people paying $5 a month.
And as I dare say, die-hard Critical Role fans, it's just really fun seeing them back where they started with their baby faces and almost like a wistful innocence about their characters. It's really lovely.
Yeah, and so the episode was called Attack on Duergar Warcamp.
Yep.
I think, yep. That was really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you have any questions that you want to pose at us, or any comments about this particular episode that we can drag on to the next one, leave it below.
And also, currently we're on break from Critical Role, and there's one-shots every week, and we did say that every time they do a one-shot, we'll do one of these and review one of the older episodes. We're going to keep that up for the next, 2 months.
Oh, as long as we can.
As long as we can before the universe collapses.
I mean, we consider doing it on a fortnightly basis, but I think
it's a lot of fun.
Once we start doing it, it's quite a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm I like to think I'm a man of my word sometimes, and I kind of want to stick to it now that we're doing it, because the minute you break it,
that's an awful part. So there's a lot more content on NPCs Tal'Dorei coming at you soon. That was a great episode and some classic Vox Machina. Yeah,
if you're watching this point, make sure you subscribe to us and also follow our Facebook. This guy's going to try and be posting on it a lot more.
At least every day.
Every day.
Yeah. If you want to see me dancing to Darude Sandstorm, that's on the page.
That is actually on the page, sadly. But yeah, just follow, like the page. Encourage him when he does post, comment, make requests to him.
Yeah.
He'll keep his shirt on for most of it.
Most of it, yeah.
But yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Other stuff.
And this has been NPCs Tal'Dorei on D20 Multiverse.
See you next week.
Hello, and welcome to NPCs Tal'Dorei.
We need to have a talk.
Pikachu!
No.
Pika.
I fucked it up. I was laughing so much.
Okay.
A bit negative. I can't remember what I decided to say. So
That's all good. I'm going to change out of this because reasons, I'm actually just going to...
No. Ah!